So I did a poll about this very subject and 12,000 of you voted, with an overwhelming 65% of you saying no. Don't do a reaction video on the Harry and Meghan Netflix documentary. So here's my video on not doing a reaction video on the Harry and Meghan documentary. But I do have a few thoughts that I'd like to offer up. You see, when I was still studying law, in fact, when I was doing my Master of Laws, one of the pieces that I was writing for my thesis was around the issue of data protection and privacy and all of these kind of issues. So I think that is a very prevalent issue within this documentary, but without speaking about the documentary, I am going to speak about this particular issue. You see, there is a much debated notion of what is called the privacy paradox. The privacy paradox being where somebody wants privacy in their own private lives, and yet they project it out on social media. Now, there are different arguments about this privacy paradox, and they generally fall around two different types. On the one hand, the behavior valuation argument argues that behavior is the best metric to evaluate how people actually value their privacy. Behavior reveals that people ascribe a low value to privacy or readily trade it away for goods or services. The argument often goes on to contend that privacy regulations should be reduced. The source for all this will be linked in the description below. The other argument, on the other hand, is the behavior distortion argument. This suggests that people's behavior is not an accurate metric of preferences because behavior is distorted by biases and heuristics, manipulation and skewing, and other factors. Now, whilst there might be endless complexities to these multiple arguments surrounding the privacy paradox, one might ultimately ask the question, if they valued privacy so much, why would they contract a $100 million Netflix series to expose all of the intricate and private details of their lives? I must admit to being familiar with some parts of the documentary, and one part in particular from the trailer stood out to me, which is where Harry says, "I wonder what would have happened to us if we'd not got out when we did." Well, the first thing for me that springs to mind is, well, nothing. Nothing would have happened, because why would anything have happened just because they stayed where they were within the royal family within the UK? You're welcome to watch the entirety of the documentary yourselves, of course, to make your own determination, but I, for one, couldn't really see any hard evidence that anything was likely to happen to them just because they didn't leave the UK and get out, as it was put in the trailer. But let's say lots of difficult conversations and lots of difficult events did happen. I, for one, just don't think that there is justification to air all of these private matters in public for the world to see. So whilst I'm going to follow the results of the poll and I'm not going to do a reaction to the series, I am going to give you what I think of some fairly high-level views on this, and this is the first of those. And that is that if you want to keep your life private, there is this well-argued principle of the privacy paradox. That is that while some people argue they want to keep their lives private, at the same time they share a lot of it on social media. Let me know your thoughts and comments in the box below. Let me know if you want any more high-level views like this, whilst I won't be doing a reaction video. But in the meantime, please do like the video and subscribe, and I thank you for watching.